Good morning, everyone. It's Wednesday, September 30th, 2009. We do have some northwest wind swell in the water now as the trough is passing through the area. I wanted to show you how the models are coming together on that and what that means for a Santa Ana event that's also setting up. It could be rather strong along the coast. Do have a warm-up, though, in the way for that. We also have some swell headed our way for the weekend from the southern hemisphere, so I wanted to get a blast of the past, show you what happened on the models here over the last few days, as well as what's happening on the models now down in the southern hemisphere with some signs of something out of the Tasman Sea. Also wanted to talk a little bit about the tsunami that happened or did not happen in California yesterday anyways, and what that means as far as another event that's happening today down in Indonesia and what that could mean for some tsunami events down in the Indian Ocean. Not a lot for California, but of interest. I wanted to show you that as well. And we also have a tidal swing headed our way and some very cool weather and possibly some wind issues next week. So I wanted to cover all that, show you everything that's happening, and this is what's going on right now. Starting out looking at the weather models, we can see that there's a trough of low pressure that's moving over the area. We can see the low pressure in red, high pressure in blue, just high pressure out in the Pacific that'll be headed our way. Moving the models forward in time, we can see that the trough is moving off to the east. Backside of that is it's spinning counterclockwise, causing a Santa Ana event, as well as that high pressure moving in. Then we can see something changing early next week as a trough of low pressure starts moving down from the Gulf of Alaska. Looks like it's going to gain quite a bit of strength, a lot of vorticity showing up on this model shown in red. And of course then by early next week, this will look at Monday, where that trough would be placed right smack dab over Southern California well into Baja. So a lot of onshore flow coming from that. Looking at how the winds would work out, taking a closer look at the coast here, we can see by these streamlines and the arrows showing the direction of the wind and the color showing the strength of the wind, what's happening. A little bit of an onshore flow right now. We can see that that's going to start getting disrupted here shortly as those arrows start moving around a little bit and that offshore flow develops. Then as we look into Thursday, early time frame, Wednesday night, Thursday morning, we can see that we're seeing the arrows point toward offshore, a little bit of green showing up the inland areas for strength of winds. And then by Thursday, we're seeing those arrows pointing offshore and a lot of green showing up everywhere, even in the coastal waters, as we see a fairly strong offshore event happen on Thursday. We can see this on the wind charts. This is one of the wind charts over at my free Wavecast site. You can get these at any time at wavecast.com under the wind section. We can see that there's offshore winds that will be happening today on the 30th, and then we can see them getting quite strong then in the morning on the 1st. They'll be on Thursday, and then still some offshore winds happening then on Friday morning, and more of a diurnal pattern starting to return back toward the weekend as we start getting more of an onshore flow instead of the offshore Santa Ana. Taking a look now at the wave models, northern hemisphere, pretty bland right now. We can see some wind swell off the coast and just a little bit of stuff up in the Gulf. Moving the models forward in time, we don't see a whole lot change, although wind swell hugs the coast. A little bit of that stuff up in the Gulf stays very high. Really nothing for us down here in Southern California. But as we approach a little bit farther out in time, we see a little bit of wind swell forming off the coast here on Saturday up in the northern coast. And then by then Sunday time frame, the 4th, we're looking at that spreading down into Southern California. So that should be increasing. Now, once again, though, this is a 108-hour model simulation, but all models seem to agree, and of course, this would be associated with that strong trough of low pressure that would be moving down that was shown on those weather models earlier. Taking now a quick blast to the past, we can see what happened here a few days ago down off below French Polynesia. Something will be coming our way around the 3rd or 4th. Another little system that will be bringing us some stuff in around the 7th or 8th. Not a whole lot of either system, although we will be seeing out of that first one some swell building on the 3rd and into the 4th on Saturday into Sunday. Looking at the models, though, now we're seeing just not a whole lot of activity happen. Some remnants, though, from all that activity that's coming our way, especially from the weekend. Then we're starting to see something sneak in. If you look to the far left, you'll see something under the Tasman Sea starting to build underneath of Australia. If all works out over the next few days, as this shows, this is 48 hours out, that'd be a fairly powerful system, although that's located not ideally for us in Southern California. If we move the models forward more in time, we can see that that would probably slam into New Zealand, and of course some of that energy making it out of the Tasman Sea, but that type of swell in that area really doesn't provide much energy for us, but we could maybe see something out of that around the 12th or 13th. Need to keep an eye on that, see how that progresses over the next few days. I wanted to just mention briefly a couple things about the tsunami that had happened, or it didn't happen much for California anyways yesterday. We can take a look at where the epicenter was down in Samoa, shown in red. That's the energy. You can see also some of that energy then progressing out in yellow, coming toward California. A lot less energy toward California, and of course the ETA on that was last night, and it wasn't much by the time it did hit our coast. Of course, a lot of that did decay. We can see how that did progress out, though. There was a lot of energy that was directed toward California, and actually only about 9 hours out. Typically, that would be about 6 days for standard swell to reach us, but those waves were traveling at close to about 400 miles an hour, so it wasn't much that did hit us. There was quite a speed behind it, and it is something to be aware of. It's kind of a rare event for us to get a tsunami warning in California. There was concern by the National Weather Service and NOAA's Tsunami Warning Center as well. Another event, though, did happen this morning. This is a 7.7 earthquake that has happened off of the western portion of Indonesia. Smaller than what happened off Samoa. That was over 8 points yesterday. But the wave for this really won't be progressing toward California, as it will be blocked by the areas down there around Indonesia. You can see how it would be progressing, though, through the Indian Ocean. It would be progressing then along Africa. Some of the energy in about 24 to 27 hours could make it into the Atlantic, come up toward the U.S. West Coast, East Coast, but it doesn't look like that would see much, similar to the fizzle that we ended up seeing last night along the coast. Also wanted to mention we are in a tidal swing. We have a full moon that will be cresting late on Saturday night. That's starting to cause the tide to swing quite a bit, and we can see this is a tide table for Friday into Saturday, where we're seeing the tides reach the 6-foot mark and during the mid-morning hours. So that's going to make it tough to get a decent session before it gets possibly flooded out in many reefs and points and a real slowdown before the winds do pick up. So wanted to point that out as well. That'll be taming itself down, though, early next week once we get out of that full moon swing. So that's how things are shaping up right now. We do have some northwest wind swell along the coast. Looks like there's been a little bit of a pickup also along the northern coast in just about the last 6 hours. So we may see some more northwest wind swell in our waters then on Thursday. Looks like that'll be backing down toward the weekend. Santa Ana event, though, kicking up on Thursday. So we might have some strong winds actually near the coast. Might be unfavorable in many of the wind-prone locations especially. Looks like we'll be seeing some southwest swell move in over the weekend, building on Saturday, then peaking on Sunday. It looks like, though, at the peak on Sunday, probably be a chest plus event when this does come in. Wind swell should then diminish on Saturday, but looks like it's going to be picking up on Sunday. Strong trough of low pressure moving down for big cool down Sunday into early next week, and associated with that, tight gradients, and of course then the wind swell that would be picking up as well. Looks like we may see something out of the southern hemisphere around the 7th or 8th, not hold my breath on that. A little bit of stuff from the Tasman Sea, possibly around the 12th or 13th, but I'm not counting on that just yet. Got to see how that progresses over the next few days. As far as tsunamis are concerned, not a concern for us right now, even though there was a 7.7 earthquake early this morning down around Indonesia. We're also in a tidal swing, so something to be aware of as you plan some sessions to go out this weekend for some timing, especially before those winds pick up. And it looks like those winds could be picking up, especially early on Sunday as that trough does move down the coast. Well, that's it for now. I'll be keeping you posted. You can always check out my latest SoCal Surf Report, updated 3 times a week over at wetsand.com. And 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, you can always check out my automated site, wavecast.com. And if you want to stay updated at least twice a day, you can follow my tweets over at twitter.com/wavecast, where you'll be updated on everything breaking in Southern California. That's it for now. Until next time, take care, be safe, and smile in the lineup.